Bubbles in your wood sealer can be a mystery, but can also cause problems with your finish and end product. So I'm sure you have asked yourself the question, why am I getting bubbles in my polyurethane? Let's look at the sealer, the reason for bubbles, the impact of bubbles and how to prevent them in the future. If you like this video and information, subscribe for more. First, what is wood sealer? The term sealer has many meanings. According to Wikipedia, sealant is a substance used to block the passage of fluids through the surface or joints or openings in materials. A good example of these for wood includes stain, shellac, paint and oil. The term sealer simply refers to a type of finish that is being applied to the wood. First, let's look at the steps for preparation and steps for applying polyurethane. Ensure you have a clean and smooth surface. Stir the polyurethane. Applying polyurethane. Between each coat, allow to dry and sand with either steel wool or 120 grit sandpaper lightly. Clean with a cloth and apply your next coat. How to prevent bubbles in water-based polyurethane? Much like other woodworking techniques, applying polyurethane is all in the preparation. Preventing bubbles in your water-based polyurethane is all about the preparation as well. The key is to take your time and be patient with the application, drying time, and sanding between coats. How to get bubbles out of dried polyurethane? You will need to sand them to remove them and apply another light coat over them. How to stop air bubbles in varnish? If you are using a varnish to seal your woodworking project, the process for stopping bubbles is very similar. The process for removal is the same as the generic polyurethane. If the varnish is still wet, you can remove by using your brush to tip in and fix the bubbles. However, if it is as dried, you will need to sand and apply a light coat to resolve. As you apply your light coat, ensure you are using a feathering technique. A feathering technique is described by taking long strokes from edge to edge, being careful not to overwork the varnish. The purpose is only to remove the bubbles and have a nice finish when done. Can you use a torch to get bubbles out of polyurethane? If there are bubbles that have formed, you can use the torch or hair dryer to remove. Key things to remember when using this technique. Polyurethane has to still be wet. Hold torch or hair dryer about 4 to 6 inches away from the polyurethane. If you are too close, you run the risk of moving too much of the sealer to resolve the bubbles. Using a back and forth motion, wave the torch or hair dryer over the bubble and watch them melt away. You may still need to use your brush to touch up the spot where the bubble used to exist. Conclusion? Bubbles and sealers such as polyurethane, varnish or even shellac sealers all protect your woodworking projects and bring out the one thing about wood that we love, the natural grain and look of wood. That is the reason we use them. However, the process of applying isn't always clear-cut and comes sometimes with issues. The one takeaway from this article is to know, no matter what process you are using, whether it be tapping with your brush when the polyurethane is still wet, sanding and reapplying a new thin coat when the polyurethane is dry, or heating up with a torch or hair dryer, there is a solution to all woodworking sealing projects.